The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is losing a record number of its membership.
Is there anything in your life, Kim, that hasn't been resolved with the proper priesthood authority?
Well, before Matt returned from his mission, I was involved with another boy. We probably spent a little too much time together alone.
Go on.
I guess things sort of got out of hand.
Kim, I know how hard it is to talk about things like this, but I need to know how serious the problem was if I'm going to help resolve it.
I guess we were getting a little too comfortable together. And that's when the problem started.
What you've told me, Kim, is very serious.
Yeah, but I'm not involved with that guy anymore. It's not a problem now.
True repentance is not merely the stopping of something we know is wrong. It's much more involved.
But it's different between Matt and me. I really love him, Bishop. I've never felt this way about anyone before. I can't have a temple recommend. But the wedding is coming up. The announcements have been sent out. My dress is paid for.
Oh, Kim, I think it would be a great mistake to go to the temple without resolving this problem.
What can I say to Matt? How can I tell my parents?
Now, to each member of the church I say, keep on the covenant path.
Brethren and sisters, we will now put you under covenant to obey and keep the law of sacrifice, as Jesus Christ has laid down his life for the redemption of mankind. So we should covenant to sacrifice all that we possess, even our own lives if necessary, in sustaining and defending the kingdom of God. Each of you bring your right arm to the square. You and each of you solemnly covenant and promise before God, angels, and these witnesses at this altar that you will observe and keep the law of sacrifice as contained in the Holy Scriptures as it has been explained to you. Each of you bow your head and say yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. So, Bill Maher came back from being a week off last night and had to put Trump in his place because Trump got busted trying to shut down another late night comedy. Tried to shut down Bill Maher. But Bill Maher had the documents and showed them in his new rule. Bill Maher ruled over Trump, who has Bill Maher derangement syndrome. Yeah, there is no derangement syndrome. Fox picks up on this to bully Antifa. We all know this. Maybe Antifa doesn't. Fox's bullying that MSNBC was fake news finally got to MSNBC, and so they embraced it, and now they're MS Now for opinion, i.e. fake news. If you're giving opinion, you're not giving news. And so, yes, this is how it works. Bullying 101. And Trump tried to bully Bill Maher into getting canceled. I guess it has something to do with the Paramount thing that's going on. So I'm all excited, you know. Now we're likely to get all of the Warner Brothers stuff on DVD. And so if Bill Maher's part of the deal, then yeah, we'll get some Bill Maher DVD series in. I noticed that John Oliver finally the other year came out with previous seasons up to season 8, the full episodes, so I'm able to watch those now because he posted them on YouTube. But because it's HBO, I've never seen DVDs for any of those kinds of stuff. And typically they don't want to put out the DVDs for seasons 2 and above. So yes, Paramount, yeah, they'll still put out DVDs. I just got Strange New Worlds season 3, and so I'm finally able to watch it. And so yeah, it's the style of the old analog TV series is where at the end of the season there's a cliffhanger that has you wait, because it wasn't streaming back then. It was a one night only event for each episode, and then if you're lucky they'll put the reruns during the summertime so that it would be timed so that the season finale would be right before the start of the new season in the fall the next year, or that year because it was the end of the school year. They timed it for the school years. And so you had to wait and wait and wait. Very frustrating. And so yes, season 2 ended with a cliffhanger, left us going, oh crap, gotta wait. And finally I found out the rest of the story, and now they continue on with other stuff. So yeah, there's some frustrations. They're trying to do it to make money and be popular. It's a failed economic system, but still. Once we get it all together with DVDs, digitizing them, knowing the chronological order of the shows that when they need to be watched in their order, Star Trek is just kicking butt on the whole storyline. You know, far beyond what Star Wars has done. You know, you got the cartoon Clone Wars that put in a lot of extra stuff that we don't get from the movies. But for Star Trek, dear God, they're just cranking him out now that he's dead. Gene Roddenberry. And so, yeah, was it last year or the year before when I went through Star Trek from beginning to end. And so, yeah, now I can redo it with season 3. Not doing it yet. But, yeah, it's exciting to see the fictional storyline. But I don't get Star Trek derangement syndrome thinking that it's real. I saw Galaxy Quest. I know about the historical documents. And yet you got people who go off the deep end beyond Comic-Con. Star Trek-a-con. Shaka-con. I think I'm going to listen to that new song today. Oh, dear God. So, Mormons have Travis Wayne good cell syndrome. Oh, what a shock. We never saw that coming. He got us. Oh my God. Exactly. Mormons are bullying me to shut me up. Mormons hate me. And why? Because the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith are true. So true. Isn't that great, Mormons? What do you mean you want me dead? What the bleeping hell is wrong with you? Oh, right. Oakes told you to not associate with anybody who doesn't believe like you. He's Mr. Multi-Personality Disorder. He's got derangement syndrome. He's taken the drugs for it with his tardive dyskinesia, the clear indicator that he is a psychopath. Psycho. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Literally. I exposed him. This is why the church attacked me. They created a troublemaker file when I came to the church saying, Joseph Smith is a translator. Isn't this awesome? Do you have any more stuff in the documents that I can use to do translation with? And they made a troublemaker file, 36434. I didn't find out for another decade. Because again, because of being a translator, that's why they attacked me. For a decade, they were trying to activate me with deprivation torture. Trying to get me homeless, trying to shut me up, trying to keep me down. They took away my temple recommend because the bishop was a Nazi who never even read the Book of Mormon. Wanted nothing to do with the older singles ward. The price for prostituting a Mormon girl is just not worth it. You do know that prostitution is to pay to have sex. You do know that the law of chastity in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints means no sex or anything of the kind until you get married. And then it's got to be what we want you to have for sex. Babies. I had to back off a little bit about that. But it's coming back soon. And so, how do you get sealed in the temple? Well, you got to have a worthiness interview. You can't tell the bishop that you did naughty with a past boyfriend, but you don't see him anymore. That'll get you in trouble. All you had to do was say, nope, there is nothing in my past that has not been resolved by proper priesthood authority. Thank you, Bishop. Hope to see you at the reception. That's all she had to do. And instead, it became a whole church video on repentance. And so, yes, that's how I found out about my troublemaker file, because the church submitted it as proof that I'm a terrorist. Translator? So I'm a terrorist? What the bleeping hell? Yeah, it had nothing to do with the case. There was going to be no case. They were going to disappear me, erase me from history, torture me unto death. For being a translator. This is how paranoid this church is about covering up and hiding their secrets from you. This is massive derangement syndrome against me. And for good reason. Because I'm more than just a translator. These 10 years being suppressed on YouTube, which is a cyber-terroristic crime for which they are giving aid and comfort to a terrorist organization. Therefore, they are guilty of terrorism as well. YouTube. The Mormon YouTube employee, Max C., down in Utah County, is getting YouTube busted on behalf of the church. YouTube doesn't give a damn about me. But being owned by Google, owned by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, with Mormon employees, now it becomes criminal. Compromise. Went over that video with you yesterday. How the church gets everybody to commit crime, to be exposed, so that you have to do their will, and then they betray you. Numerous examples over these 10 years of all the people ordered by the Strengthening Church Members Committee to hurt me, destroy me, steal from me, murder me. I have a property manager document. It's frozen. That incident that they just caused, that's the death penalty because it's associated with terrorism. It's a national security threat. I have a property manager document signed and dated threatening to murder me. She was that stupid. She was told to do it. She did it. She made a document, signed and dated it. I've got it. I've got the receipts of the church paying back in 2008, giving the orders to do what they did to me. This is how blatantly evil, criminal, and corrupt as a terrorist criminal operation this church is. And here's a big shocker, ex-foe nevermos. The church isn't true. No, but yes. The church doesn't exist. There is no corporate entity. There's a corporation for a non-existent religion. The religious front for the criminal operation isn't even legal. Other criminal rackets have a legitimate front for their criminal operations. Not this church. When the United States of America, government documented, shut down the church of Brigham Young. Not Joseph Smith, Brigham Young, established in 1851, February 6th. I've got the government document. I've been showing you the government document. So it's Saturday, so they know I can't file any complaints. Not like it's working. And so I've got the government document of Brigham Young establishing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Not Joseph, Brigham Young. The whole thing is a big con. And it got shut down in 1887 with the Edmunds-Tucker Act, shutting down the whole financial criminal racket. That's what it was shut down for. Had nothing to do with polygamy, though yes, that was aggravated with the financing of it. Sex trafficking, child sex trafficking, child rape. Money is why the church got shut down. And so they do not exist as a religion anymore. They are not an organized religion as an organized religion. Because obviously they're organized. But they don't exist legally. Even the Dominator knew this with the lawsuit against the church in 2008. Hey! Right after they locked me up. Come on, Terminator. Help me. But yeah, the church got busted. They settled to cover it all up that they got exposed for. The Terminator comes out in the government document saying there is no religious entity. Just a corporation. You've been terminated. This whole thing is a fraud, and that's why the church is so paranoid about covering up and hiding church history from you. Because everything they say about Joseph Smith is a lie. It's to justify them doing it. Hello? Have you never known a liar before? You grew up in Utah, didn't you? You know the church lied, and that's why you left, and you couldn't figure this out, huh? Oh my hell, Expo Nevermouse. So yes, I keep telling you, tell the truth. Don't spread the lies about the church. You don't need to lie about the church like Fox News and Trump does for bullying tactics. You don't need to do that. You don't need to create a problem. The church is the problem. Just report on it. Just investigate it. Peggy, come on. Don't try to be sneaky in your interviewing. Don't try to beat around the bush with your coverage. Go straight for the jugular. I got the documents. You could have gotten the documents far easier than I got the documents. But everybody's afraid of this creepy old organization who are near death. They've got no power but what you give them. That's how they do it. They claim Jesus is telling them what to do, and everybody fears. Oh, I don't want to go against God. What kind of a God tortures you and calls it love? I mean, even Christians who acknowledge that the God of the Old Testament is mean and cruel and hateful and vengeful and wrathful. Jesus of the new hotness gospel is kind and loving and lets you get beaten up for the cause of Jesus. Turn the other cheek. And we don't care about the correct interpretation, correct translation, or correct definitions of any of the words that we screwed up. He's telling you how to take him to court. It's not about letting people sin, which is Nelson's translation method of Hebrew. Israel, let God prevail. Jesus, let people sin. And so, as I have done for these videos exposing this church, is that their whole intention is to test you for loyalty. That's why they lie. That's why they demand you accept the lie. That's why they are criminals, and they want you to be criminals, to assist them in this criminal operation. This is all criminal racket loyalty testing. This is not truth. This is not a test that will result in your eternal happiness with 10 child bride virgins in the celestial kingdom. You bleeping dumbass. None of this is true. None of this is good. The whole thing is a fraud. But they want you to be loyal. And so these 10 years, this is what I've been focused on. I changed my life to save you, to warn you. And you want me dead? You think I've got church derangement syndrome? Have you never even read about the beam and mote? No, you haven't. Because the church doesn't want you to. You're supposed to just listen to their lies and get the right feeling of how true it is. And the loyalists get promoted. Those who are faithful get demoted. So, I've been trying to teach you, not keep secrets from you, about the gifts and powers that I have. Not just translator, but all of them. Seer, prophet, revelator, and translator. Acronym for spirit. Not a coincidence. I've been teaching you so that you can get it too. There's the passage in Moses that they might bring up this year in the manual. I would that all would be prophets. He's not keeping it to himself at the top. Obey me. I'm the king of kings. I want to listen to that song too. Yep, I think he's number 2 in my favorites. Obviously, The Undertaker is number 1 forever, for all eternity. And there was a short-lived NWO when they had the breakup. I saw one match with this very tall guy in all black, greasy hair. At the start, when the bell rings, the guy comes up to him. He then takes him, puts him in a hammer thing, boom, and the guy's out cold. It's over. Awesome. Well, that's the only match I saw of his. And it didn't last long, I guess. But yeah, Jake the Jake the Snake is okay, but Rowdy Roddy Piper, obviously. He's a favorite too. I was kind of disappointed when they put him in his little Piper's pit. Boring. Come on, let's get to some fights. Oh, I mean contests. Wrestling. We have wrestling in high school. They don't use those tactics. They don't get on the top rope. They don't use chairs. No cage matches. And I just so annoyed in the 80s when the press was going all hysterical with it. It's not real. They pull their punches. Yeah. So? That's not the point of the show. Nonetheless, yeah, my brother was not happy when I put him in the figure 4 leg lock. Don't try it at home, kids. If they are actually applied, they will cause harm. Yeah, all the deaths. Dear God, man. And dear God, what the hell? Stop using Botox, dude. The steroids and the Botox. Dear God. So yeah, he got in a car accident, driving over 100 miles an hour. He's okay. But yeah, he didn't even fit into his car. He's all crunched in. And it's like the airbag couldn't even deploy because he's right there at the steering wheel. Oh my hell. I guess he got away or settled in his assault cases. I'd always wondered what happened about those. Now I know. So yes, I've been trying to teach you how to be seers, teach you how to be prophets, teach you how to be revelators, teach you how to be translators. I'm not hoarding it. I'm not telling you I've got it and you have to believe me or you're gonna die. That's the guys who don't have it, who claim it as just mantle titles, whose official statement is we deny the gifts and powers of God, and Mormons still are loyal. And what do you get as a reward for loyalty, Mormons? Death, abuse, further lies, suppression, oppression, depression. Did I say repression? All of the pressions. And so, yes, my church news videos are for a reason. Because they're up to something. Armageddon! Surprise! In case you couldn't figure it out from the name. They're causing it. I've shown you the documents. I've shown you Oakes's leak. They're the terrorists. Hello? Did you not see what they're doing this morning? The whole thing is criminal. The whole thing is satanic. Literally. Hello? Inverted pentagrams? Hello? Being bearers of light? Aaronic priesthood? I'm kind of curious. Are you going to do something with your wife on Sunday, Hookdorf? Kind of curious. What's up? I thought you did it last month. You doing something again this month? Sunday? But, I mean, what do I do with the people that are so far gone? When I watch the news, especially lately, that is escalating, the Mormons who commit crimes, the Mormons who are murdered, the Mormons who are financially ruined and destroyed, the Mormons who are told to stay in the war zone. And this church refuses to do anything for the membership. And you're supposed to be loyal? Do you not get it? What the church has been doing to me is to test my loyalty. And I'm refusing. I refuse to be loyal to the big con and lie. They have tried to murder me, and I still won't deny the truth. And we get taught this in seminary. Benjamin Franklin Johnson moved with his family to Adam-on-Diamond, where he was immediately arrested, and a hooligan was going to shoot him if he didn't deny his testimony of the truth of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And he said, I would not deny my testimony of the truth of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And he misfired. It never misfires. It's not supposed to. It's a miracle from Jesus. We're told this, taught this, to be loyal to the church, even when our lives are on the line, and the covenant paths of Jesus tell us we're supposed to sacrifice if necessary for the building up of the kingdom of God and the establishment of Zion. With the death penalty. And you can't catch on that this is a criminal operation. That it therefore can't be of God. The God is a fraud. It's a front, like the religion that doesn't exist. God doesn't exist. The religion doesn't exist. It's just a criminal operation who lies. And Mormons are dumb for not catching on. We have more than enough, far beyond 10,000 fists in the air, which also is a song I might want to listen to this morning. That one needs to be moved to my new file. Don't think I've got that one in my file yet. It's in the main file. Because I got frustrated trying to find songs. And now I'm starting to get frustrated finding songs again in the new file. I have a lot of number ones. God, this membership can instantly rise up against this criminal operation, exactly like the members who believed they were just Christian only with the Kirtland apostasy, when Joseph Smith ran a similitude test for the Latter-day Gathering to Zion of his members obtained thus far. They've now got a temple in Kirtland, and so Joseph Smith, with the keys of Moses, calls for a gathering, a test run. And these new converts come and go, what the bleeping hell? This is not Christianity that we were told we were. And they caused an internal civil war. Because it's the Jews, and the Jews murdered Jesus, who's immortal and unable to be murdered. He took his own life. And I don't think you really understand that when the church tells you about Jesus. Because of Jesus' suicide, we can all be saved. gotta write that down. That is just so twisted. Dear God, Mormons, what the bleeping hell? You guys could easily shut down this church, chase them out of the country. They'd have to flee to a non-extradition country if you just woke. If you just read your scriptures, read the words, and compared them with these leaders. I don't see a match. They're not true. If you're going to follow the teachings of Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon, they're not true. If you're going to not follow the teachings of the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith, then you need to denounce them, and they won't do it. They've revised them with historical negationism. That's evil. Because others, like Christians, know that we're expecting a future Mormon to save Mormons from the bondage of this church. Missed that video I did the other day. And so all of these leaders, Islam especially, they can read the Book of Mormon and understand what it says. Oh, Jewish, our sworn enemy. But this church is saying Jesus. Very clever. They understand the church is a fraud. Why don't Mormons? But the church got Islam too, not just other countries. As Idaho Chick and I have been on that case. Everywhere a prophet goes, destruction follows. And with Armageddon now, there are still some denialists. I don't think this will escalate to World War III. Trump would never take it that far. He's just kidding. The mantle title of president will get him under control. He'll start acting normal. Who's got derangement syndrome? You don't understand the bigger picture. There's a coup going on, boys and girls, and it's not just for America. But yes, all of Islam that the church has met with. And again, the news came out yesterday with the latest Bednar betrayal with the Judas handshake. Azerbaijan. Got the handshake. Just like with Bahrain, that was just recently in February, but this was last year. Azerbaijan was last year. UAE last year. Qatar last year. Bednar's tour. And now this year, the church betrayed you. Surprise! And so, when I talk about Trump visiting Welfare Square and pushing a shopping cart for the first time in his whole entire life, ooh, this is how the poor people do it? Ooh, this is fun. Can I put my foot on it and ride? Oh, they have to show ID to buy groceries? Ooh, that's a good idea. Wait, this is funded by tithing? And it's just 10%? Huh. Yeah, you can do more than just 10%. That's a good idea. Trump knows it's a criminal racket. He knows, because he's a criminal racketeer. God. Just unbelievable. And so, yeah, I warn you, if you don't listen to me, destruction will come. Because apparently I'm the only one that's exposed the church. And if you refuse to listen, refuse to stand up and say, no, I will not be loyal to crime and lies, the church is going to destroy you. They'll destroy you anyway for being loyal if you're the only one not loyal, because of what they've done to me. Going on 30 years? 40 years. 2008 is 10, 18, 28, 30 years. Going on 30. All because I found out the truth. Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon are true. And I refused to deny them. And the church, yeah, they tried to murder me. And yeah, it kept misfiring. The Benjamin Franklin Johnson message is so true as false. Yeah, he purposely lied. He came to Adamon-Diamond to join the Danites. Yep. So, Joseph Smith warned you. Better listen to Travis. You'll be precisely as it stands in our New Testament. Oh, dear God. I don't get it. How? Because I can't self-fulfill it like Brian David Mitchell tried to. Changing his name. Well, cut it out. You're not him. Leave her alone. But yeah, he got his wife to believe him. Just like Chad Daybell was able to convince Lori Vallow. Hey, Lori, Jesus is coming. Let's murder our husbands. We can do a crisscross. Is that Strangers on a Train? The crisscrossing? They met on a train and then crisscrossed. I think that's what it was. Great movie. Classic. But bad. Don't do that. So yeah, now that we've murdered our spouses, let's go shopping on Amazon for a wedding dress and a ring. We'll have a financial trail as well. And then we'll justify murder by calling them names. They're zombies. Kill them. They're kids who are not being taught right. Teach them right. Teach a kid, and they won't be a troublemaker. At least the truth. They'll be a troublemaker to liars and cons. I just see too much corruption. Too many Mormons who murder, who rape, who steal. And they're just emulating the church. A causation of the church who's destroyed the economy, who's destroyed morality, who's destroyed government, forcing Mormons into a survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest is a fraud. Darwin is a dumbass. Book of Mormon warned Mormons in advance of Darwin. Evil people cause survival of the fittest. Get rid of the evil. Hey, no more survival of the fittest. The vegetation theory. All the time. Amazing science. The scientific method. Right there in scriptures. So, there's lots of little video clips I could have done. As I've been doing several of them so far this week. There's a whole bunch more that I could be doing. You know, like the Relief Society president locking up babies in cages. That was the Friday night news dump. All this week they've been doing late night dumping. They know when I check the church news, and so they purposely now wait until after. And so, catching on to this, I do check now after. And so, yes, I've been doing little short videos from the church news, late night dumping. And so, yes, I could have done the Relief Society president one last night. And whether I do it as a small video today, I don't know. I want to do other things with my life if nobody's going to listen to me. If nobody wants Zion, you don't understand. You have to be proactive in righteousness. You can't just sit on your laurels. Leave them alone. Don't sit on laurels. They're just cute little girls. Leave them alone. I don't think they have those anymore. I think it's just the Young Women's program. Regardless, don't know too much about it because I was not a girl. They wouldn't let me associate with girls. So, some of the other stuff, Oakes has a multi-personality disorder, which I covered in a video, but it can be its own. Now I've got, because of Jesus' suicide, we can all be saved. But I can't put that in the title because YouTube will flag it. This contains suicidal information about an immortal, not real deity. Viewer discretion is advised. Bleep you. They did it to suicidal tendencies. He's not talking about suicide. He's not talking about getting other people to commit suicide, dumbass of YouTube. It's about the abuse of society, of parents, of religion, of schools, of psychos, government. who threaten and bully to cause suicide. You don't even care to listen. You judge by the outward appearance to shut them up. And then our best porno mag ends up being thrown away by mommy. I'm not allowed to have porn as a kid. I'm Mormon. But we had the Sears catalog. My mommy taught me how to do collages with pretty pictures inside. And ooh, females. They're wearing different fashion. And so yes, I had to sneak it to obtain it and hide it in my room. Because it's porn. Here I am, a boy who likes women and women's fashions and likes listening to women. He's enjoying women's company. He wants to watch women try on different fashion. The perfect guy. Who's not gay. Because I play with girl dolls, not with boy dolls. I mean action figures. They're action figures. They're not dolls. So, during the homophobic 80s, well, we jumping ahead, first came my mom. She was recognizing that somebody was taking out the woman's pictures in the Sears catalog. I had to wait until they threw it in the recycling bin. But I guess my mom had gone back to check and saw. And so she came storming into my room one day, went straight for my underwear drawer. I didn't realize all guys did that. I should have put it under the mattress. So she sees it and just freezes. Her confirmation was true, and she's in shock. And instead of complaining and arguing, instead of stealing it and throwing it away, she just walked out. So she knows I like women. Now, homophobic 80s. Church came out with a statement to all Melchizedek priesthood holders and their wives in a special combined priesthood relief society meeting. Our children are turning gay. You need to make sure your kid's not gay. And so, my dad has a brother who turned gay. He had a Barbie doll wife with 3 Barbie doll daughters. And he said, I quit. I'm out. Yeah, I was born gay. Because I wanted to stay at home with mommy and do woman's work. Therefore, I'm gay. This is what my bullying peers bullied men to think they're gay. Oh, you listen to that music? That's gay. Oh, you watch those movies? That's gay. Oh, you wear those clothing? That's gay. Oh, you like that color? That's gay. Oh, you like this? You like that? Those are gay. That kind of music, if I didn't cover that, gay. All repeating over and over and over again to get any sucker and loser to believe them, like MSNBC. And so, yep, my uncle fell for it. And so he left the family. moved in with a boyfriend, working as a manager at Blockbuster Video. So my dad freaked out. All church standards and values, temple covenant paths. Just because you didn't want to work on the farm with Dad and I. Man's work. And so, yep, they then came after me. Travis isn't hanging around women. I don't think he likes women. He must be gay. He's got all the symptoms of the syndrome. He's quiet, reserved, alone, depressed. My mom knows I like women. All they had to do was sneak behind me in the living room while watching TV. They will know. Oh, Travis is watching The Love Boat. Travis is watching Wonder Woman. Six of the Bionic Woman. Oh yeah, that's right. I caught Travis with porn from the Sears catalog. She must have erased it from her memory, just like she did Elvis once Elvis started doing drugs. Elvis no longer existed in her brain, and all of that music, she didn't like that music. Her childhood crush crushed her. And then he died. So, yep, I hit puberty, and I ceased to exist in my mom's mind. So, yeah, she went along with the church. Travis must be gay. Because, what is it? Playing with girl dolls makes you gay, or boy dolls makes you gay? Both, Travis. Everything makes you gay. All you have to do is believe it. And once you believe it, then they get worse. Because now you're gay. See? They knew the fear was true. And so then they beat you, steal from you, to a worse degree because you now confessed to their bullying. And that's what psychologists do. You come in all sad because you're being bullied, and they say, it's okay, we embrace your gayness. What? Wait? What? I'm not gay. Well, yeah, you do tend to have the tendencies. It's okay, I don't judge you. And the psychologists join in the bullying. Anything you say here is never going to be told to anybody else. Doctor-client confidentiality. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I like playing with boys. I guess I'm gay. I do like women's work. I saw Mr. Mom. I really think that's for me. And the older one, Dustin Hoffman, dresses up as a woman. I can't remember the name of the movie offhand, but yeah, those kinds of things people watch them and they think, yeah, I want to be that way. That was a fun movie. I want to emulate that. Ooh, Bruce Willis, a new movie. Oh, he shaved his head. Awesome, I'm going to shave my head. Oh, crap, the prophets just came out and said, don't conform to the world and shave your head. Oh, yeah. No, I donated my hair to cancer. I'm that sensitive. Yep, I'm helping support cancer victims. It's a serious problem. I know what you're doing. You're not fooling me. And then facial hair began. After the church lifted that policy. As long as it's clean and neat. And then boom, all Mormon men get the devil's goatee. And then also Mormon vessels of wrath, hate, and lies when faith bubbles are challenged. Church doesn't legally exist. Dereliction of duty. Dear God, Oaks. I mean, and for Mormons to still not catch on. I'm not sure who I'm actually focusing my anger on. If it's Oaks for causing all of the death, or for Mormons to be loyal, thinking the church is true because they believe Jesus is real. Oh, Jesus is real, therefore the prophets are true, and I have to obey them. They want me to jump off a bridge, and I guess I have to jump off a bridge. Suicide, they said, is painless. Jesus will save me. Did you not read when Jesus is confronted with Lucifer? Why don't you cast yourself down? You can save yourself. And you didn't liken the scripture unto yourself? But because of Jesus' suicide, we can all be saved. Church betrays Mormons with mass deaths, destruction, financial loss, ruin. What will it take, Mormons? Where's your red line? Dear God, what is your breaking point? Because 15 million of us have already found ours. We're out. For the Mormons who are still in this church, where's yours? We're still waiting for you to show us where's your red line. Church is wanting to know. That's their loyalty test. How far will you go? Will you take the knife and cut your throat? Will you do our Tide Pod challenge? Oops. And that's another thing that Bill Maher, he keeps talking about how with the Epstein files that he had to apologize to QAnon. But ever since QAnon, I've been doing the videos. Mormons, it's you. So, in case you've forgotten, QAnon says that there's a space alien satanic pedophile ring of elite rich people all over the world. And everybody said, no, it's just a joke. That's not real. Mormons. What planet are you from? Kolob. The Battlestar Galactica creator turned it into Kobol. Inverted pentagrams on the keystones of the doors of the Salt Lake Temple. Rapes of girls and boys galore. Not just a connection in the Epstein files. And I guess they returned yesterday 3 files containing Trump about biting off his penis. I had it. I showed it to you. I've still got it. And then did a follow-up on all the rest of the stuff that I didn't cover, but had the document. I got it. But the DOJ pulled it. And yeah, churches all over the world. Just like the Book of Mormon warned you of the Church of the Devil. Only 2 churches, Mormons. They're not talking about Christianity, Judaism, or Islam. They're talking about in Joseph Smith's church. There are only 2. All those other branch-offs don't count. Oh, God. Leaking this morning. So, no, still some more left. Dear God, we're not done. LDS failing to listen to their cries. Cut off. Oh, okay, I need to add an F. So yeah, Joseph Smith, warning Mormons of the future. Listen to me, or you're going to be precisely as it stands in our New Testament. AI LDS YouTube channels are out there deceiving Mormons. I did the video on one particular one because I'm able to identify within the lie the truth. And sure enough, the church then confirmed that I was correct. Shortly thereafter. About preparing for the millennium. To come out and say, hey, we're the church, we're reintroducing ourselves. And so I did the video from the AI created content that's not affiliated with the church to show you that that is what the church is up to. And sure enough, Oates comes and confesses. And so yes, YouTube is allowing AI channels to deceive you, not just with the music channels that were AI, that caused the record industry to freak out, the music industry. As musicians are already struggling to find ways to get paid now that we don't have the radio anymore. How do I get royalties? Merchandise? Hello? Keep up with the new technologies. And people just aren't very smart in business. They want the old and busted way, like teaching. You can't teach kids who are involved in video games and music and movies and TV shows and social media and streaming and 6-7. They have programmed themselves into learning differently than the old book method of memorization. And if the schools refuse to utilize the new technologies in the classrooms, you're going to leave a lot of kids behind. Oh, whoops, they did. And you keep pushing to keep teachers in a job, when technically we really don't need teachers. Just give your kid a video game at the level that they're at. Here's the video game for 3-year-olds. Here's the video game for 4-year-olds. Here's the video game for 5-year-olds. And you'll be amazed at how intelligent your kid becomes at an earlier age, because you're teaching at their level in their understanding. And nobody understands this. See, Idaho Chick gets it. Idaho Chick had made a comment or an email in which she said that kids need to be taught at their level and progress according to their understanding. And she's got it. She doesn't have it fully developed yet as to how it would be fully implemented. But Master Bader, I told you about yesterday, my 7th grade English teacher. First day of class, he explains the difference between Mr. and Master. Oh yeah, Master Dick Grayson. Oh, I understand now. Because it didn't make any sense. Why is he a master? And not a mister. I understand Master Wayne. Because he's the lord of the manor. Now that his mommy and daddy were slaughtered. And so the way he had it set up was completely off the books. He was rogue, and it was awesome. He set it up so that we could take a test instantly. And as long as we passed with over 90%. So there was little room for error. We could then go on and take the next test, and then the next test, and then the next test, so that we don't have to repeat lessons of knowledge we already know. This was designed to find out where we are, and we were able to find out where we are as well. And if we failed, you couldn't hack a car, the doggy is making a break for it, then you had to have an option. You can retake it, and it's a completely different test. Knowing what you did wrong, and you can fix it on the next test. No, it's a different test. And so you can get back on it again. And so, yeah, there was a race to see who was the top grammarian in class. But if you fail again, you are forced to spend, I don't know how many days to study the material before you can take it again. I never had that option. Or, instead of taking the test again, you can study the material before taking it again. Either way. And that was brilliant. Because even though there are only a few of us who are excelling, in order to be graded, you had to reach a certain level of tests and have passed them. And allowed for going beyond the requirement for those of us who could. That is the system that needs to be employed for every subject. And that is the system I will be utilizing in Zion. So that your child, once born, begins. And it's up to your child. And it's all designed for them. No boring stuff. According to the technology. So yes, there'll still be books. I would hope that parents would read books to their kids. That's important. Even if you want to tell your kids stories for bed. Get them published. Make them available for others. That will be available in Zion for you. But this old and busted system on forcing what doesn't work is just stupid. Too many kids failing. And this is the whole plot of white supremacists in government leadership and school leadership, to suppress blacks from getting a good education equal with whites so that they can break out of the poverty cycle. This is the problem with that. And so instead, there's the debate of how do we fix the problem? Whites say we don't need to fix the problem. Everything's fine. Blacks just need to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. And blacks says this is a new slavery. It is. Because it's based on the economy. Denying blacks an education hurts them financially. Slavery. You force them into manual labor work. As stupid. Slavery. So. And then locking babies in cages. So here's the news now, with some other videos mingled within. So I finally said, okay, we need to make another separate paper for the smaller videos. So the church is busted in Iran, but only by me. By betraying Azerbaijan. 13th of November 2025, Bednar went and did his tour and was there with Azerbaijan. And yeah, we got a church out of the deal in Azerbaijan. Islam. And there's a Mormon church. Because they previously said we're just like Islam. We made a pamphlet. It's the big con. And Islam fell for it. So, Lebanon. Antifa is stupid. They're not catching on. And that may be on purpose, because they hate Jews. But after Gaza caused the terrorist attack on the 7th of October, Israel then went in to say, enough. We've had it. We have allowed you to occupy our land. As long as you allow us to live in our land. And Islam couldn't do it. They don't like Jews. They want them exterminated. They want them out of their occupied country. And so Israel, knowing this hatred against them, as they're only 16 million after World War II, Nazi Germany's Holocaust. And Islam is 2 billion. Israel is not causing a genocide, you dumbasses. Islam is causing a genocide. And so, the fighting ensues. And so, because of this, Lebanon. And the news wants you to be stupid and says it's Hezbollah instead, not Lebanon. In the United States of America, we have a government, we have a military, we have an economy, we have a civilization, and we have a religion. Multiple religions. They're all supposed to live together in peace, harmony, and safety without trying to coup the government. Nonetheless, same thing. Islam is the religion. Wherever they are located geographically, they have land. They have a military, which the whole world designates as a terrorist group. They have an economy, and what else is there? But yeah, the culture is Muslim. But it's Islam. See, Jews are Jews both in religion and culture. For Islam, they created the culture of Muslim, but they're all Islam. It's the same thing. Don't be confused by that. When the church came out and said, we're Muslim too, they're trying to say culture, but it's the religion. Just like for Mormons. Mormons, yeah, it's both the culture and the religion. Not anymore that they go worldwide. And so, to designate the military as a terrorist organization is to say that the whole Islamic people, therefore, are terrorists. And for people to not make this connection and understand what they're doing, trying to claim, oh no, we're not calling the people terrorists, just the military, is stupid. And so yes, with Lebanon, they have their military, and the military is attacking Israel because the people can't do it with just rocks. But the government definitely can step in and say, no, military, don't attack Israel. And they're not, are they? Exactly. The government fully endorses the militaries to attack Israel. That's the same thing with Iran, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, Gaza, Saudi Arabia, and all other places that are attacking Israel. It is Islam that is the enemy. Islam are the terrorists. And the news refuses to cover this correctly for you. Because Islam came to America and took over our country. As they did like the Illuminati. Infiltrate, rise up in number, rise up in rank, get into positions of leadership, take over leadership, destroy. Guess what's coming? Still surprised Trump let the communist Islamist into government in New York. It's a violation of the United States constitutional words. He is a terrorist in the Constitution. Death penalty. Bye-bye, Ma'am Danny. And so, yes, this is why Lebanon is again fighting Israel still as an excuse because of the strike on Iran. That's it. That's all. Nobody gets this. And so, yes, Antifa is trying to say that Israel needs to stop. No, they need to fight until Islam is exterminated from the face of the earth. like Mormons in the 1838 war. Missouri caved to the pressures and threats of the church to take it down and repeal it. It's not cool, guys. So, 4 Iranian spies were caught in the UK. I wonder how many we have in America. Oh wait, we have the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So, Iran silences social media content creators. How could that be, YouTube? YouTube would never, in America, silence a YouTube creator. No, not even punish them after doing 9 or 10 short videos. Ooh, I got one video or one view per video, 10 videos, that's 10 views. Wow. So Trump is now attempting to bankrupt colleges for the scandal over contracts to get kids to come play at their school. Oh, Sarah. She fell right into the psychological trap. I do have to make a correction. The tow truck driver was the guy who picked up the assassin, murderer of Mormon girls, not the killer. So, as much as that was an awesome, pretty picture, yeah, I found out last night the actual meaning of the titles of the videos the night before. God, who does your YouTube video uploads? It's bad enough when Fox gives us a title that causes me to click on it to find out what that's all about, and then it's not about any of it. It's a completely different subject. Oh, what the bleeping hell, Fox? But Sarah, what the hell? Again, she's interviewing psychologists under the guise of healthcare. Sarah, have you not been reporting this repeatedly for the last several years? Psychology came from Nazi Germany and are doing to Mormons what they did to the Jews. We just had 3 victims of psychology executed by gas in the state of Utah, Sarah. How could you do this? Did they force you to do it? You have to give loyalty to ABC4 News? Come on, girl. Still want to take you camping? Call me. Thankfully, the church lowered the age of the older singles ward into the younger singles ward. But, I'm sure I'd have to see your ID first. sure you're legal. I'm fairly confident you're older than Devon, or Devon, however she pronounces her name. That was just an awesome picture, Devon. I like Devon. Devon sounds fun. Awesome picture. Well done. So, Utah Food Bank. Critically low. Yeah, food banks are the giving of fish, repeatedly. If you know anything about that, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you starve him as torture. And he dies. Yes, it's a faulty thing. You can't just teach a person to fish and now they have to do all the work themselves. Well, the government's responsible for making sure the economy works so that there can be a pond with lots of healthy fish. And to be able to provide all of the tools and equipment to go fishing. If the government fails to do this for its people, it doesn't matter how much education you get. You're still going to be flipping burgers for the rest of your life. So the food bank is critically low because people need to give. This is not a sustainable economic system. But food banks were created because the governments refused to regulate the economies correctly. And it's damage control that's causing more damage. Especially since the church caused it all. Since their 2020 test run, Utah has gone from 1,000 homeless to 4,000. And they just did the count. I'm waiting for the numbers to come out. How many more thousand did we add last year? So, Girls Going Wild, canceled. Porn industry goes bust because spring break is canceled because of TSA troubles. Because the Antifa won't fund them. Along with ICE. And churches laughing hysterically. Yeah, we shut down the porn industry. We're so cool. Church is true. You do know that's a Epstein blacklisting compromat that the church does. Idols. Women are the most beautiful of all natural wonders. And the church calls you porn. And you couldn't figure out that's a violation of Article of Faith number 13 that the church still forces primary to memorize. See, that was my big concern growing up. They had me memorize Article of Faith number 13. And I'm going, wait. Anything beautiful, lovely, of good report, or praiseworthy, we seek after it. I like women. Sears catalog, mommy. And the church is saying porn. Insulting, degrading, debasing, bullying, abusing women. And women just take it and say, I'll be loyal. You know, men have this natural syndrome of knight in shining armor syndrome. Right, Sarah? And so, yes, as a child after Beth in kindergarten in Michigan, I have always wanted to be the knight in shining armor for the abused woman. I then began to be involved in chick flicks where the chick is abused at the beginning and comes out with the head of her abuser at the end. So yes, the 13-year-old girl biting Trump's penis, she's my hero. And yet, women remain abused, and psychologists get involved and say, well, it's Stockholm Syndrome. They fall in love with their captor and abuser. Quit telling them this, because they then believe you. You need to tell them they abused you. They don't love you. Run! If your husband beats you and it wasn't because you were trying to chop off his penis, run! Or poison him, run! Or having cheated on him, run! God, can't we all just get along? That should be the theme song. I want to listen to that one now. Got all these songs to listen to. I will survive. And the Replacements version is just awesome. Yeah, I'm afraid of spiders. Bees. Ooh, yeah. Oh, quicksand. Oh, that's deep. So if any of you have any guns, please turn them in. Bad girls talking about the sad girls. Come on, Ref! She smacked the other girl in her. Play ball! One of the classics. The U.S. is mass producing weapons. Yeah, when Little Rocket Man was threatening to nuke America, Trump wanted a whole nuclear arsenal built up. But Utah got caught in Bear's ears. Oops, no uranium mining. You lose, Herbert. You're out. And the new hotness Cox is in. So, that's it. We're done. No, we're not. Still on one more page. Oh, dear God, on both sides. So, yeah, Bahrain oil refinery hit. Aid organizations are now not able to go in and claim to be victims of the abusive United States and Israel this time, like they did for Gaza. Islamists of these aid organizations went in. Doctors Without Borders, yeah, they were Islamists. The aid groups were Islamist. They were purposely going in. They were going on the front lines. They were covering up and hiding the hostages, claiming that they were victims with the citizenry, who are all shields for Hamas. The military, allowed by the government, allowed by the people. And so, yes, the aid groups became the shields for the terrorism, thus becoming terrorists themselves, giving aid and comfort to the enemy. But now with Iran, they ain't touching this. They're now out. Nobody is going in. They are purposely going to allow the suffering and just complain about it, rather than risking their lives for this. And yeah, no, it won't escalate. No! Trump wouldn't cross that line. He said it'll only take a few more weeks until Easter, when Oaks said that we're all gonna die. And Travis, he doesn't know what he's talking about. 5 death threats from Oaks in 2025. Nothing happened then. Because Trump failed. So, I did the church news video about how the one apostle, I think it was Casse, came out and said, the church is surging in membership. The church is surging in missionaries. Well, the church is surging in missionaries because Oaks lowered the age of girls to 18. But membership, it ain't surging. With what is going on now, I saw the 2024 membership list because I needed it for the videos that I'm doing. I needed a reference. I don't memorize. I learned my lesson. Fiskin giving me an F. And I had to tell Idaho Chick the fuller story about this. When I got the F, I was just devastated and crushed as a little 5th grader. Just destroyed. I went into shock. I don't get Fs. I don't get Bs. But to all of a sudden be used to kindergarten to 5th grade, A, and it's plus. A plus, 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 F. That crushed me, utterly destroyed me. I was devastated. And I never recovered from that. I know the cause. I don't need to go get an emotional support animal and be in therapy with drugs for the rest of my life. Get the hell away from me. I know the cause. And see what I've done since? I've got a target for assassination on my head. And so I get home, my mom sees I'm upset. She is told. I got an F on my Idaho report. My mom knew how much I worked on that. I don't work on homework that much. This one I did. I loved Idaho. My memories of going to visit Grandma and Grandpa stuck in my mind. It's awesome up there. The potatoes are just massive. They just had in February the annual potato truck run, where they load a massive potato on the back of a long semi-trailer. That Idaho soil is awesome because it's volcanic soil. The best soil on earth. So yeah. Not kidding, they have the truck run. When I showed you the picture in my video. We're not kidding. Idaho potatoes are the best. Beyond doubt. And so, yeah, my dad gets home, mom tells dad, they're pissed. Here it is, their A+ student now got hit with an F on an Idaho report that mom can testify to I worked hard on. They had bought me the word processor to do all the typing. This was a massive project for me, and she gives me an F. And so, they made an appointment to speak with the teacher outside of school hours. And it could have been on a Saturday, dragging the teacher in, because nobody else was in school. And I have to sit outside on the pavement outside of the classroom. And I could hear the yelling back and forth. And it took forever. I was sitting there, and it's debatable as to whether waiting to find out if I get my Eagle Scout or this took longer. If you remember my talking about this the other week. Because this wasn't just a paper report. This involved a geographical plaster Paris map thing of Idaho. A whole bunch of stuff went into this report beyond just the report itself. I fully invested on this. And I chose Idaho. We had to choose a state, and if there was another person who wanted to do that state, the teacher would decide who gets it. Every classmate had to have a different state. And so they couldn't choose California. And so I selected Idaho, and I was really nervous. Oh, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. Nobody else knew Idaho existed. Like Utah. They don't know Utah and Idaho. Laura Baker may have chosen Utah. I don't remember. The only Mormon in school and in class, aside from my siblings. They don't count. They're siblings. And so, yeah, obviously I had a crush on Laura Baker. She's the only Mormon girl. And she, instead, purposely did poorly in school so that she could be with Kevin in the remedial classes. What the bleeping hell? Come on. I'm the Mormon boy. Kevin's not even Mormon. I've been the good boy. I want loving too. Not fair. And so that dream was dashed to pieces of growing up with a childhood peer being besties the whole time, and then dating, and then getting married, having a family, having a happy life, dashed and destroyed because of Kevin. So yeah, in the end, it was a C-, because I had seen the teacher trying to negotiate with D's on the paper. She said, okay, what about a D-? No, not getting it. But I need to crush your son. He needs to be put in his place. We can't have A+ers. God, an evil woman. And so, yeah, I have to continue to go to her class after this. I was not happy with her. And yes, as a result of her, that's why I taught myself, with the help of Sesame Street and the card game, associative memory. No longer am I memorizing if I'm just going to get an F. Bleep you, teacher. And so, yes, you've got to teach the kids at their level and their understanding. You cannot crush them with the old and busted system that they are not catching on to because of the new technologies that they're heavily involved with. So, yes. Come to Zion, the Church of Jesus Christ is false. In primary, I'm doing this. I'm pissed that they're taking my candy money. And it's not going for the poor. That was my original thinking. Oh, I'm helping the poor. Okay. I'm okay with that as a kid. I'm okay with helping those who are poor. And then I find out it's not for the poor. It's for Jesus' free atonement. And I'm pissed as a kid. And so, yes, follow the prophet, follow the prophet, follow the prophet straight down to hell. As a kid, this church was trying to get me to be loyal as a kid, and it failed. What does that say about Mormons who are still Mormon? So these wars are causing a loss in membership. The sufferings that are going around are causing a loss of Mormons. The destructions of governments after the prophets go and visit are causing deaths of Mormons. And so, checking the other day when I did the video, Russia has lost 5,000 Mormons since the Ukraine war. And so Ukraine, I don't know the original numbers. I'd have to find one of the older membership stat files that I've got somewhere. But if Russia lost 5,000, Ukraine certainly lost a bunch. These are Mormons. The church is letting Mormons die, forcing Mormons to stay out in the world, where we know Armageddon is going to destroy the world. And if you read your scriptures, you know we need to get all Mormons gathered to Zion, not stay where they are. But that's not the intent of this church. They're not true. They're planning a coup of the whole world. And so when the world is destroyed, they need Mormons to survive. That's why. So if you survive, the church then says, yay, church is true, you survived. You lost family members, loved ones and friends and neighbors that we caused. And so you get to be in charge of the church where you are. But make sure you give tribute, or we'll come in and destroy you. Future plans exposed by AI on YouTube. And so yes, Africa, South America, Asia, everywhere, we're losing mass numbers of Mormons, not just humans. And so the church stats, dear God, we need Armageddon before Easter. Oaks needs it desperately. He does not want to have to put out the membership stats after conference on Easter. Don't expose this church. Be loyal. Because I'm willing to bet we're not over the previous amount of membership. It's dropping now. We are looking at a massive crisis in the church, and the church is desperately trying to keep it covered up, just holding out. Armageddon is so close this time, Trump. Come on. Stocks are falling. I told you so. Job crisis. A record number of unexpected losses of jobs. Gas has gone up to 30 cents. Food prices are skyrocketing again. The egg of great price is getting too expensive. It's now a commodity. Collectability. Oh yeah, wow, you've got a collection of an egg. Whoa. I remember when we used to have those for food. See, Russia? Yeah, they know how to deal with it. They just make those fancy eggs. I saw a movie where they stole one at the beginning. Who was the character? Was it Jason Statham? Or... I can't remember. Anyway. And tornadoes. I told you, every Friday for the 2 o'clock time period, I do my checks, because that's when the stock market closes here in Utah. And so that's the timing that I check for the weather. And I've added the world population. I found a site that tells me how many people are in the world. It's a projection algorithm, but... And I check the debt, America's debt. All of those are statistical information that I obtain daily during the weekdays. And even the pollution level. And so when I find out about an earthquake, I'll add those to the files. And so, yeah, Fridays are when I check Ventusky and check for a whole week in advance, so that by the next Friday I get for the next week, and I go until the Monday after the Friday to get a few days, get the weekend in also. And so yes, I knew in advance of the tornadoes that were coming, and I saw them the day I did it. I know about all this. I've been telling you about this. I used to do videos warning you, hey, storm's coming. Nobody watches. I get a lot of thumbs down. People get hit by the storm and die. And so I pay attention to the weather. Because have you never read your Book of Mormon? After 3rd Nephi chapter 7 and the overthrow of the United States of American government, what happens next? Jesus comes. Is literal history true, Travis? And so hailstorms, blizzards. AI isn't designed to handle this. The other day, we had an instant hailstorm, followed by a blizzard of snow. I had already checked the 2 o'clock time for the weather that day. Nothing! And when it happened, nothing! AI weather missed it. It was never a part of their system. They didn't readjust because it was quick. It was massive and quick, and AI didn't catch it. They didn't project it. They didn't report it when it happened. That's how crappy AI is. Oh, God, this is forever. 4-hour video, and it's because the more they cut me off, the longer I go, because I have to repeat information and restart and reboot, and it's so Mormons are left behind. The world is getting their people back, and the Oaks came out and said, stay where you are, and lied, saying it's safer. It's safer in the war zone. Stay where you are. What's your line, Mormons? Because the Mormons that are out there don't like that. They don't want to stay. They still want to come home. And so, yes, they're not being loyal. Cuba, it only has 357 Mormons, but they're about to die. Trump cut off their oil. That now has cut off their power. Trump says, yeah, they're about to fall. He's destroying them through a different method, deprivation of basic necessities. And 357 Mormons are in Cuba, and they're about to die, and Oaks isn't saving them. It's his responsibility to save them. Remember dereliction of duty? Oaks is the enemy. How much more do I have to repeat this? Like I said, these could have all been little videos. God. And so, the Utah legislature, refusing to pass the Gavin's bill, has now got the Ruby Frank kids who were abused pleading with our government. What the bleeping hell? So yeah, they released the names of the assassinated women. Natalie Graves. I think I found her. She's lost a lot of weight if it's her. But she's the only Natalie Graves I can find. And she is from Colorado. So if it's her, she received an award in 2022. If it's her. But like I said, she's lost a lot of weight if it's her. So that's why I'm confused. But Natalie Graves, Colorado, Colorado. I don't know. The news didn't do this. I found her. Previously, yeah, with Renee Good that got assassinated, yeah, Mormons were all over this, saying she's Mormon, she was Mormon, oh my God. And then the Michigan thing, yeah, people immediately made the tie and connection to him being in Utah, married to a Mormon woman, getting divorced, finding another woman. Wasn't trying to murder him. And so, yeah, Natalie Graves, class of 2022. I don't know if this is her, because she's a little fuller figured in 2022. The picture that they showed on the news of Natalie Graves, she's kind of thinned out, but she is older. She would have to be older, because this was 2022, it's 2026, 4 years later. So, I don't know. But this Natalie Graves got the Philip G. Davidson III Memorial Award for class of 2022. She plans to work as a public defender with the Colorado State Public Defender after graduation. So is that what she was doing? That would be the way to find out. The news isn't telling me who this Natalie Graves is and who is she. Just that she went for walks, and so the news is now saying how to be safe when walking. Bleeping hell! Don't blame them for walking. It's not their fault. It's the assassin's fault. God, the news is so incompetent. You dropped your eye on the ball. God. Now we're going to have the legislature make laws to ban walking. It's for your protection. But, sure enough, with that blizzard that came in, they did put out a warning. Avalanche danger this weekend. So how many people are going up to meet the powder and die? Just shut down the mountain. That's all you guys have to do. Government, shut it down. It's not safe. We're shutting it down. But that's how Utah gets money. So, murder to get gain, huh? Following the example of the church. God. So, a Utah child trafficking operation closes. Good riddance, get the hell out. Adoption agencies, that's all they are. They have to get product to sell. It's humans. If you don't extremistly regulate adoption agencies, you're going to have human trafficking, slavery. Mothers who are forced to have the baby because of Utah's laws, being raped, and being a Mormon girl, so now you're excommunicated and you need to see your bishop regularly and go to family services for drugs, because you're now mentally retarded for getting raped. And so the church rips you from the rape baby, forcing you to have it, and then puts it up for human trafficking through the adoption agencies. The church used to be all in on this. They had their own through family services. Then they stopped it because gays wanted to adopt babies. They didn't want to have their own with a woman because they hate women so much. And so when the church quit, yeah, the Mormon return missionary thought, hey, the field is wide open for me now. I'm going to take the raped women from my mission, traffic them to Arizona and Utah at the West Valley City home, pack them all in, and then have their babies adopted out. Church did it, why can't I do it? So yeah, they shut him down, but still we've got others that are licensed, and so now one of them quit. They all need to quit if the government won't regulate it properly. Oh, and this broke my heart. In Utah for 2025, tips for child sex abuse was 11,000. And Oaks gets up at BYU and condemns youth for not getting pregnant? And shortly thereafter, you've got the BYU student football player who's now accused of severe rape. There's more to the story, apparently. I didn't want to listen to it. But following the example of the church leaders. And a dumbass Mormon dared put a comment saying, it wasn't tied to Oaks's. You're not listening. Mormons emulate the prophets. All the crimes of the prophets are done by Mormons. You're not getting out of this church. You're trying to stay loyal. As the church deceives you. Benjamin Franklin Johnson was loyal. Why can't you be loyal? The church has put the gun to your head. Just like the Danites did to Benjamin Franklin Johnson. And other Mormons. That was the whole thing of 1838. The Danites got Joseph Smith locked up in Liberty Jail and then went around and said, join us or die. And Thomas B. Marsh's affidavit exposes all of this. Mormons are not happy and comfortable with these blood oath atonements that they have to make. That this doesn't sound morally correct. This is not the church from the Book of Mormon or Joseph Smith's words. What the hell's going on? They forced Mormons out. The leadership was destroyed by Brigham Young and his Danites. And Mormons don't want to know about it, huh? Oh, there's our theme song. Yeah, I forgot to do that for the eclipse. We'll do it today. Putin has now been exposed, betraying Trump. It's all part of the game. The King of Kings is leaking U.S. intelligence to Iran. Yep. It's all to make this war last longer, to escalate. So, yeah, many countries are getting added to it regularly. So yes, Putin, yeah, he now added Russia to the war in Iran. Even though there's only 12 countries in the Middle East involved in war, you've got those outside that are being forced in. The UK is coming to Cyprus because Iran bombed Cyprus and hit a UK embassy or base or whatever there. And so now the UK is forced to apologize, say, yeah, I know, I said I wasn't going to get involved, and we have to. It's got to be because we're getting attacked. So the UK is now added as a country involved in this war. Putin, by helping Iran to make the war worse, is now added Russia to the war in Iran. And that's why the US also is a part and to be included. So we're getting more added every day. People who are protesting in other countries, not affiliated with the war, are adding themselves to the war by protesting the war. Whether for or against, whichever side. So, blood red skies, Judas Priest. This is it, guys. This is Armageddon. And if the news actually did investigate, they would know this. Apparently, I'm the only one who's found this information and have been reporting on it for 10 years. Nobody's listening to me. So, there's no way I can put in all of these pictures. We'll put in some of them. It's not likely now because of how long this video is. It's going on 3 hours. Sarah, what the bleeping hell?